Just be high for the whole year.
Might have to be.
They're acting high. Everybody's high.
It might be the only thing that gets them through.
I need to be high. Hi, Allie.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Shannon. Shannon, how are you?
I am doing a lot better than I was last week. And I feel like every time I talk to you guys and answer this question, I kind of have the same response.
Yeah, that's true. You are
There's only
always
so many answers, you know?
You're always going through it until we ask you that question. Whereas I'm the opposite. I always say, I'm having the worst time of my life. All this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess because I just know I'm doing better because I'm like doing this with you guys, just recording. I feel better. And I have to, this was just like dropped on me this week. Do you guys know what the sit test is?
Yes. Because you taught me what the sit test is a couple years ago.
Well, apparently my parents forgot. So my parents go over to watch football. They're like, do you know what the sit test is? It's like, no, Dad, I don't know. It's like, I bet you can't do it. So the sit test
Wow, he assumed you can't.
What's hilarious about this is I know for a fact he has watched her do this before. This is a repeating conversation.
It absolutely is. And every time they rediscover it, I'm just like, because we have to go through it and I have to prove that I can do it. So the sit test is where you are standing and you have to sit cross-legged on the floor, but you can't make any points of contact. Like it just has to be your feet to the floor. Like if
you can't
Google
touch your hands to the floor. You just have to
you can't
fold
use
your
your
legs
knees, your elbows, nothing. And then once you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, you have to stand back up without touching the floor or putting a knee down or anything. And it's about like core strength. And there's a bunch of shit online that's like, it determines your age or by how many points of contact, like how healthy you are. And I was like, okay. And of course I do it. And then my dad, he was able to sit down. He was not able to get up without holding another point of something. And he was mad.
No.
But it was just so funny because between that and being angry about not being able to touch his toes.
Yeah, your dad gets real mad that he can't touch his toes.
I just had to ask you guys if you knew what this was and if I'm the only one who experienced this.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before, but now I need to know if I can do it.
We should do it afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the Devils would pass the sit test?
I bet,
I think some more than others.
Jack definitely can't.
No way. I think Jack can. I think it's the bigger guys that would have a harder time.
Yes, but Jack is also the one who falls the most, so I could see him just being too clumsy.
Yeah.
I feel like Jesper Bratt could do it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
he'd be like,
easily
done.
Yeah.
I feel like Dougie would be too lanky, too tall.
No way. He's not even getting to the ground.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening to my rant. It's been a lot going on. But I had to tell you about the sit test because that was honestly the most positive thing in my week.
That's good. But I think we can make this the most positive thing in your week.
It is. This is Hot Girls Hockey, born in Jersey. Our weekly opinions on the Devils because there's no facts here because we analyze by vibes. I wrote several times this week, vibes only.
Nice. So, this is an extra vibes episode.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, Allie, can you start us off with our red carpet report of the week?
Yes. I actually have a very short red carpet report for you.
Oh,
there's only 2 photos. There's a best, there's a worst. That's it.
What?
Oh, I haven't looked at them yet. Okay.
I saw the first one, but it just assumed there was more.
Nope. There's not more.
Really?
For a variety of reasons. The first one being that the Twitter/social media segment at the end of the episode that I have is going to be very large this week.
Okay.
Oh.
So I felt that I need to pare this one down.
I'm looking forward to it.
The other reason is that the Devils really just didn't give me many pictures this week. They gave me some pictures from the Rangers game. And then they had the AAPI night where they were like holding the jerseys, like the custom jerseys in front of
their
them.
outfits.
So like I couldn't really see their outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And then they chose to post black and white photos. for another game. And I was like, well, what do I do with that? And then for the Maple Leafs game, they just didn't post any photos at all.
I'm not surprised.
So I really had very limited. I only had a couple photos from the Rangers game to go off of.
Okay. I like what I'm looking at.
It makes, and honestly, that's really all I needed because there was only one photo I needed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was obviously going to be outfit of the week.
I thought
Maybe
you were about
outfit
to
of the
say
year.
year.
It's possible.
Oh.
I can't say it because I haven't seen the rest of the outfits for the year yet. But I sent this to Sarah on Twitter as soon as I saw it.
I remember that one now.
It is a picture of Timo Meier in a perfectly fitted black suit with a white turtleneck.
It's the turtleneck.
It's the turtleneck. And then the black on black monogram Louis Vuitton scarf.
It's beautiful.
It works.
Also, I like that the Louis Vuitton scarf, the mama, like it looks like a pattern. It doesn't look like a logo.
Right.
Like, so it's like that subtle, it
The only
feels
time
more chic.
I like monogram is when it's like the same color, like black on black monogram.
Yeah.
I like.
This is awesome.
It's perfect. You can't even talk. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, there's no argument to be had here.
Save my veto for later.
Yeah, exactly.
Shannon, would you like to veto Timo Meier as best of the week?
No. No. Never.
So obviously that brings us to room for most improvement. You know,
I just saw it. We've talked about this jacket specifically before.
We have.
But the full combo.
What's going on? Wait a minute.
It's like he took all of our least favorite elements and put it into one photo. Am I crazy?
I think he might have.
What?
Yeah, it's really like he just walked through his closet and grabbed like one of each type of clothing item at random.
Yeah.
So this is a picture of Dougie Hamilton.
Man, Dougie.
And he is wearing, let's just go head to toe here.
Yes, okay. I think so.
At the top, we're wearing a gray, like skull cap beanie.
We've talked about this beanie before.
I think so.
We probably
little
did.
barriers.
The little barriers, yeah.
It does have a little barrier in the back.
That's the funniest thing to me about a fitted beanie. Like if it's going to be fitted, make it actually fitted. And if it's going to be slouchy, make it slouchy. But
And put a pom-pom on it.
Yeah, and put a pom-pom on it.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
This weird in between where there's like a little curve, a little lip of fabric at the back of the head that gives you little bear ears.
No.
It's weird. He's got a little ear sticking out of the back.
Mm-hmm.
Then we are wearing what appears to be the generic office casual blue button down.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like every teacher in high school wore this exact shade of blue button down.
Yep.
Yeah, I owned this shade of blue button down.
And then we have, this fuck ass wool jacket that's in what I call the TV static pattern.
Yep.
It
looks
not
metallic somehow.
Right. I just think it does not photograph well. Like I could probably see it not looking so
it's houndstooth.
Harsh in
person. Not houndstooth. It's what's it called when there's like the diagonals going one way and then the other way. Why can't I think of that right now?
Oh, I see.
Is it chevron?
Chevron. I think yes. Yeah. It's Wow. This is it's some sort of like chevron type thing.
Yeah.
I will say it's fitted well. Like it tapers well. Minus the fact that like Dougie Hamilton is a very tall man. And this jacket looks like on anyone else, it would maybe be like a trench coat. But because he's like a giant, it hits him at like perfect dress length. Like, like this is like a bathrobe length.
You could tell that like he has a very long torso and the jacket wasn't built for a long torso based on where the pockets are.
Yeah, those pockets are not in the right spot.
Oh, you're so right. They're up so high.
You would literally look like you had wings if you tried to put your hands in the pocket.
You'd have little chicken wings, barriers and chicken wings. And then we get to this different shade of blue, like, plaid pants.
I would like the pants if they weren't paired with everything else and if they weren't clearly so tight.
Yeah, they're a little too small.
All of Dougie's pants are too tight. This man has never skipped leg day.
No. Which, good for him, but
I
Buy
almost
some clothes that fit.
when we did our mid-year madness video and I was putting together photos for Who's That Devil, I almost put just like a close-up photo of one of Dougie's quads in there.
Oh,
that
would have been so good. Would have never gotten it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, this man, none of his pants fit. We need to get some new pants, Dougie.
Yeah.
And then the shoes, which
What's up with the shoes?
are they brown or black?
I can't tell.
I don't know what's going on. All I know is none of it goes together and it's giving me anxiety.
Not one bit.
So, Dougie, do something else. That's my entire red carpet report this week.
Wow. Well, if you also want to check out these photos while listening along,
they are on Twitter and TikTok. You can check out either place there to see the photos that we were talking about.
also check them out.
TikTok still exists.
Exactly.
This comes out.
Yeah. And we also have them on our YouTube page as shorts.
YouTube and usually Instagram too, if I remember.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Wherever.
All right. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Sarah, please bring us into our weekly update.
Alrighty. So we are still second in the Metro.
Wow.
We have 26 wins, 15 losses, 6 overtime losses. It's a bit of a jump up in overtime losses since the last episode, but we'll get to it. So we've got 58 points currently, and we're still 7th overall.
Islander strategy.
Exactly. We're playing the Islander strategy. We keep picking up those loser points. We have 4 straight overtime games to talk about this week, which is insane. Have we ever talked about that? Don't think so.
No.
But, at least we are picking up those points. So we are still maintaining the exact same spots that I've said for several weeks now. But overtime is definitely a problem, as we will clearly get into later in this episode. The only other Devils related thing that I have for this week happened today, actually, where Eric Holla was placed on injured reserve with a sprained ankle.
Sad.
That's where everything went wrong.
I did think about it. I'm like, something about lacking that shit-eating grin. It's
that mean girl smile
on the ice. Yeah. We need the mean girl energy.
Do, yeah. There's got to be at least one.
I do think the Devils are lacking in mean girl energy right now.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the fact that it's shaping up to look like the Devils will face the Hurricanes in the playoffs first round?
Yes.
Obviously,
it is very likely.
Things can change, but the way the standings are right now, that's the most likely result.
Yeah. The Capitals are just gaining more and more points, and everybody else below the Hurricanes is just kind of like jumbling around amongst them. So I don't think it's going to change much between 2 and 3. So
unless something wild happens.
Unless it gets wild, which you never know, because the wild card race. Wow. It's pretty wild.
Yep. That's what I'm always saying.
I don't feel great about it. I really just don't want the first round to be the Hurricanes.
I know.
And I actually do talk about it a little bit during the Rangers game.
Oh, perfect.
About this lineup. I'll give all the feelings then.
I'm just glad it's not the Capitals, because as much as I loathe the Hurricanes,
that's true.
I don't even think I would have fun watching a first round Capitals Devils. Like, I just think would be miserable.
I
agree.
Angry.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah. I'm fine when it's Rangers. That's fun. But
we'll get into that. Fun with the Hurricanes too. Like there's a decent rivalry between those teams.
Is definitely going to bring out his meanest mean girl for that.
When he comes back. Yeah. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's saving the mean girl for that. Elsewhere around the NHL this week, we had the return of John Marino finally.
Heck yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
To Utah, not to New Jersey.
To Utah, yeah, not to us, but welcome back to the ice again. The Winter Classic and the Stadium Series were announced last week, and I completely forgot to mention it. But they're both happening in Florida.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna. Isn't it like Capitals and Panthers or something weird?
It's Panthers, Bruins, and Rangers, Tampa, I think.
Oh, I totally just made that up. I said
it's weird combinations. Personally,
what?
And in Florida, in South Florida, like strange.
Is that for the?
I don't know. I like that they're doing
the Stadium
Florida
Series and the Winter Classic.
Weird.
which is cool because it's like the Stanley Cup, like maybe because they just won and they just want to like grow on that momentum of the fan base, which is kind of nice.
I feel like it was probably tax reasons. That's why everything happens in Florida.
It's true. I wonder if the Rangers, because of the amount of people who retire from the city to Florida and the cap, I don't know.
Maybe.
Bring it back to MetLife.
Fascinating.
Maybe some people got frostbite at the MetLife Stadium series and they were like, you know what? We got to go somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I'm looking forward to those outfits.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to know.
Exciting part.
Oh, yeah. And the last thing that I wanted to mention was just Cutter Gauthier returned to Philadelphia for the first time since he refused to play for them. And he was welcomed with wide open arms by Philly fans.
City of brotherly love.
Exactly. And they were so glad to see him.
I heard about this.
My sister was at this game, actually. And so I had to tell her all of the drama that had happened between all of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Needless to say, they were not very happy to see him. Booing him every time that he went even remotely close to the puck.
Oh my God. Can you imagine booing? I was going to say, can you imagine booing your own team? And then I remembered Devils fans. So
yeah, they do all the time.
But I just can't imagine just like I can't hate a player that much to wish to actively boo them in that manner.
I'd happily boo Michael McLeod.
Okay.
Yeah.
I frequently did actually.
Yeah, I'd gladly boo, but
I guess I meant just making the decision to want to be somewhere else.
Yeah,
I can't fault somebody.
And he didn't even get traded. Yeah. So,
boy.
You know what's not going to make him want to play for your team? Booing him every time he does anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to definitely make him want to be traded.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for those who had asked where the name of our show came from last episode, my sister came up with that. Fun little trivia for you there.
Yeah.
And we thank her. Because it's good. We'll use Pucking Around for our spin-off.
We'll do a little, our spin-off.
When we get spin off ourselves.
Spin off of what?
I'll think about it.
It's just all pyramids every single episode.
Hopefully by the time we get to that, it'll be warm again because it's not warm here. But just because I'm freezing, the Devils are still hot. Which I still look hot and I know you still look hot. So you should just go show off your outfit ensemble at an upcoming Devils game. Honestly, any event, because you're hot. You got to show off. And I have a discount code for you for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Hot Girls Hockey. You should use it. Bring some warmth to the outdoors.
I have a theme for you guys this week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something like pajama day. Sorry.
Sure.
Crazy hat day.
Sure. But we're gonna call this theme the Tale of One Goal Games because the Devils have a new hyperfixation.
I didn't even notice.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Instead of focusing on getting shut out, just for funsies, they've decided, no, when we lose, no more will it be because we were shut out. It will be a 1-goal game. And every time we are playing a 1-goal game, we will blow that lead and go to overtime.
I mean, I'll take that over the shutouts, but
And this nonsense started on January 9th. At Madison Square Garden.
It's been a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. I liked going to OT with the Rangers, honestly.
The first time was fun.
Exactly.
That's how it always starts. The first one's always free. And then they get you hooked.
Yeah. I felt like this was typical. We gave up the first point. Jack Hughes scores because he's forever got good juju on their turf.
Yeah,
he owns New York.
Jack plays with a certain degree of fury every time he steps onto that ice at Madison Square Garden. And whatever, Rangers take the first goal, but you know what? Who cares?
I don't care.
Jack answers.
Technically, Luke scored first. They just took it back.
Yeah, I forgot.
But anyway.
And Jack took that personally.
I think the Devils are tired of disallowed goals. Because so
it's
am I.
happened a good amount.
So we lost, and I don't mind giving 2 points to the Rangers.
I do.
Oddly. Okay. This is what I was trying to
Ordinarily,
circle it
yes.
back to earlier because of the position that they are now. I feel like
Who cares if they get points? They're
Right.
so far behind. Who
I'd
cares?
so much rather go against the Rangers in the first round of the playoffs than anybody else.
You
I
do.
think that's the highlight.
Personally, I would
Or-
pick Penguins, but that's never
Okay.
going to happen. So
No.
Well,
I guess of the teams that it is most likely,
yeah.
if I could choose between the Capitals, the Rangers, and the Hurricanes, I would
I would
pick
choose
the
the
Rangers.
Rangers, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
yeah.
Not only just for the traveling distance, I just think the rivalry is so good for both teams.
Right.
And I did say here, I would like to play them in the playoffs because a healthy rivalry is good for both of us. The key word being healthy.
You know, this got toxic real quick. And that's part of my social media segment because
Okay.
I got in trouble. So we can talk about that later.
You did?
We'll get back to it.
Yeah, that's
didn't
why
even know
I had
that.
my Twitter locked down for about a week.
I didn't even know this happened. Okay. Huh.
We'll get to it. All right.
But I agree with you. I can't say, looking back on this in retrospect, it's more frustrating than I recall it feeling, experiencing it first
In
time.
the moment.
Because there
Yes.
were some very good things that happened during this game. After, Jack tied it up,
Mm-hmm.
the Devils did something I have rarely seen them do recently in
Yes.
recent memory, is they forced a turnover in the neutral zone thanks to a
Yes.
beautiful hit by Dougie
Yes.
Hamilton, of all
Yes,
people.
I also wrote about that.
And this got the puck to Bratt, who took the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, Devils hockey.
Yeah.
What is
Experience Devils hockey, Instagram hockey, if you will.
I wrote the PB&J is delicious this game.
this?
Yeah.
That was so exciting. That was beautiful. That was sexy. That was, it filled my heart with
What
a little
other
bit of
things have we
joy.
called it?
And then after that,
Markstrom.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say Markstrom was also giving me a lot of joy in this. He had so many, again, giving us these intense high danger saves constantly. It literally went, whoa, at one point about one of them.
This also gave us the debut of MySpace hockey, which one of the commentators, I don't know if I was watching the Devils or the Rangers commentary. I can't remember anymore. But one of the commentators called Jacob Markstrom's old school goalie style MySpace hockey.
Why? I missed that entirely. That's so funny.
Stop. That's so good.
So we had some Instagram hockey. We had some MySpace hockey.
Wow.
We had Nico being sent to the pretty boy box for slashing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Who is this man? He just is taking up residency in there. Brendan Smith's gone, so I guess he thought someone had to do it.
Yeah. Every role needs to be fulfilled on the team at all times.
And Nico's determined to do all of them at once.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. We're going to get to that later because that's how I felt about the Toronto game. But, yeah.
No.
I'm not mad that we lost, but I always enjoy this rivalry. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I didn't think the Devils gave this one up. Unfortunately, I just thought the Rangers were playing well.
Yeah, I
They
think
did. Yeah.
they got a spark and they needed it. Like I almost don't mind.
Yeah, and the Rangers were just able to take advantage of their power play. And that kind of started to fall apart in the third period. The moment that scared me the most, well, the moment that this all got really wacky was Nate Bastion took a penalty. And I remember just saying, oh, I'm scared. I feel like, because at this point, remember, it's a 1-game goal. The Devils still could have closed this thing out. And I was like, this is gonna be like what decides it. But because I was like, the Rangers are going to score. The Devils are done for. There's not enough time yet. But then the Devils drew a penalty. I ended up with 4-on-4 for a while. And I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. We've got with the Devils are still, they're going to take this home. It's 4-on-4. They'll just close out this penalty. They'll have a little bit of power play and then they'll win this game. And then 2 minutes to the end, they let the Rangers tie it up.
I don't remember what happened during the OT during this game.
I remember. Do you want me to remind you?
Okay. I'm scared.
So this is the start of something that has now been a week-long discussion because of how many OTs we had. But okay.
Was this the one when it got away from Jack?
Yes, it was one when you could say that about a lot of games this week, Shannon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The first one
This
where
was the first
he
one.
took the blame.
Yeah.
Like he felt the...
Yes.
See it.
I have always hated watching Jack Hughes in overtime because I think his best skill is his like high risk, high reward style of play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And admittedly, this year he's been playing a little more defensive. He's like talked about how he's trying to develop that.
Oh, yeah. He's way more
And it
defensively
shows.
responsible than last season.
But it's still when like playing 3-on-3 and he does one of his like risky little moves and a pass doesn't connect or there's a turnover.
Mhm.
It's just so unfortunate. And this was one of those. Jack turned it over and it led to like a 2-on-1 against like Timo. Like what was Timo supposed to do?
Yeah.
And Markstrom had already made like two of the most incredible, like picture worthy saves MySpace hockey I've ever
Yes.
seen in my life. They were incredible. And you know, he just didn't have a third one in him.
Right.
It was overtime. It was only a couple minutes into him. Dude's already
Mhm.
probably exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
And a lot of people, this turned into a really big discussion of like
Oh, no.
Jack in overtime. This was one of those rare cases where the whipping boy of the week was not Dawson Mercer or Nate Bastian.
it's
It was Jack himself.
I thought he was untouchable, honestly, from that conversation.
Not this season, actually.
Wow.
People have been a little more lukewarm on him. But I personally call this a success for two reasons. One, there were no injuries.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
True.
And they took a point.
Yes.
And
We fought to the end.
yeah.
Like, I like that we didn't just give up.
Yeah.
Even if we
Right.
made mistakes to give up a late period goal, I like that we're still able to hold on
Yeah.
and
Yes.
like not let it snowball per se.
And at this point in
Yeah.
the season, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to a loser team that's not in the playoffs.
Yes,
Yes.
that is very
And still take a
true.
point at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Whispering so
Like I
that
said before.
the people across the Hudson can't hear me.
Right. They don't know what we're talking about over here. They can't hear us.
Well,
Shannon, are you ready for deja vu?
yeah.
Let's talk about Tampa
Okay.
and another 1-goal game.
Wow. In overtime.
I literally, this is like a mirror universe is
Mhm.
how this game
The
felt.
Devils are walking through a fun house.
Yes, because
Honestly.
this game, I was like, we learned from our mistakes. We took the late period goal. We won an OT. This was a complete reversal of the last game. And I was feeling great. Not so much later, but in the moment when I made these notes, I was like, okay, we can do well in OT.
I'm
There
glad
is
that you have good notes
a
because
chance.
all I have is I'm not taking notes because I got stood up and I'm mad. And then immediately the next note I have after that is some stupid BS and Kucherov ties it up.
He did. Yeah. Mhm.
Then I just stopped from there.
Yep.
Oh my
That's fair.
gosh. For me,
So tell me how that happened.
I mean, maybe it was just me, but I kind of thought nobody was really expecting this to go well, given how the last one had gone, the last
Mhm.
few ones have gone. And just the Lightning seemed to be a bit of an issue for the Devils usually. But they were pretty aggressive to start out the game, which was nice to see. And then Andre Palat scored on his former team.
yes.
You love when that happens. And a
Revenge
nice little
goal.
wrist shot from the blue line. Wow, I can't talk.
You're doing
He
amazing.
had a nice little wrist shot from the blue line. Yeah, a revenge goal.
Mhm.
It literally bounced past Vasilevsky, which was silly. But it was one of those games where, like, you know, it keeps going back and forth. They keep tying it up,
Mhm.
which is exciting to watch, at least, you know.
Yeah, I'm still like torn on whether I see this as regression or progress because the general mood among the fans this week seems to be that these past couple weeks have been a step back. But considering the fact that earlier in the season, whenever they were struggling, they would literally get shut out.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, I think this is an improvement from the shutouts.
I kind of think it is. I like because it's hard to say because it depends on if you approach this from the assumption that they otherwise would have won all of these games in regulation, or
Right.
if you
Mm.
approach it from the assumption that okay, this is a game that otherwise they maybe would have lost, but they were able to push it to overtime. It's like a glass half empty versus half like full type thing. It depends on what your like assumptions are about the game, because the Lightning they're a good team. So pushing it to overtime and then winning, that's a success.
I
agree.
Take it. Yeah. Especially with the way that overtime ended for them in this game.
I loved this.
Yeah.
It's funny. I only had the note about the OT huddle as well.
Well, everything was happening. The OT huddle, there was a brain blast in that huddle.
Yes. So instead, what they did, like for the final minute of the power play in overtime, they went with 4 forwards out there, and they put Nason in there.
This ended up to be a fateful decision,
which yes, was a great choice because he is the one that took the game-winning goal in overtime.
That was so awesome. It was so exciting just getting to see. This was the reverse. Jack got blamed for how the previous OT went. He was the one who drew the penalty that allowed them to be able to go 4-on-3,
which was a huge sigh of relief. I was like, that's smart. It's not like draw the penalty. He didn't throw himself into it, but just like creating those
an opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Playing a bit more defensively.
And I liked the the brain blast of putting 4 forwards out there, because this is some shit that like Lindy Ruff would have done last year, and it would have gone horribly, and somehow they would have ended up with like a shorty against them, and
because he would have like jambled everyone up and put out the weirdest combination of 4 people that you could ever come up with.
He would have pulled someone out of the audience and thrown them out there.
Honestly, yeah.
What was especially exciting about this too, someone pointed out that this is the first time in 5 years that the Devils have beaten the Lightning on home ice.
Oh wow.
And the last
5 years? Damn.
5 years. The last time apparently was in game 3 of 2018 of the 2018 playoffs.
Yeah.
And Stefan Nason also scored that goal.
Oh, no way. That's so funny.
It was meant to be.
I think Sheldon Keefe read the vibes. I think he practiced Devil's astrology.
I was going to say the stars aligned on this night, and it was destiny, and only Stefan Nason could go out there and take that point. It was the only way to win.
Someone pulled out the star map and the cartography, and they were like, Nason, that's the key. Yeah, I think this was a little bit of a Jack Hughes revenge game. I think he actually played pretty well this game after he got dragged for the Rangers game. Even though he also did well in the Rangers game. Then he had the first goal, and he also was an assist on Jesper Bratt's game, goal rather, which was the only reason they even got to OT. So, mixed opinions on that. But this was a good one.
Yeah, this is our only good one, but it's okay.
Well, Allie, I'm dying because I just had a brain blast about where brain blast came from.
Jimmy Neutron?
That's some Jimmy Neutron.
Yes, it is.
But I didn't question it in the moment. I'm like, yeah, that's a phrase I know, but why?
That's why.
And now I know why. So
why?
Why? Why did the next game go as it did?
Why?
Let's talk about it.
I don't ever want to talk about the Panthers, okay?
No, me neither. I don't like them.
Matthew Tkachuk is a doo-doo head.
I'm not even mad about the Panthers. I'm mad that when I was looking up, like writing in the doc, like just putting in all our information for this week, that I was like, what does SO mean?
Shootout.
Because we went to a shootout.
But the Devils really wanted the full OT experience. They had a regular OT. They had an OT with a penalty. Now they were going to go all the way to the shootout. And you know what? I made a joke that this was going to a shootout. And I think I need to stop doing that.
Oh my God. Stop predicting the future.
Ooh, maybe I should predict the future. But
we got to do some card readings.
I think Sheldon Keefe needs to get my phone number. And I can let him know what's happening.
Yes, exactly. Because what's the point of having this power if you can't use it to help?
I feel like Raven Simone. Or like Cassandra. I'm cursed to always tell the truth, but no one will believe me.
Yeah.
And can we, you know what? We're just going to talk about a lot of things before we talk about the Panthers.
Sure.
Why is it so hard to watch an NHL game?
Is this the one that was like impossible to watch?
ESPN.
Yes.
Okay.
ESPN Plus, Hulu. It's like called ESPN Hockey Night.
But like Hulu wasn't working.
Hulu was completely down.
Yep. And all my streams that I was using were also down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was losing it.
I had to like download the ESPN app to my smart TV
And
then log in directly through it because Hulu wasn't working.
Oh.
And then I was finally able to get it that way. And it took so long that I finally log in, first of all. And now I have to listen to the ESPN commentators.
Yep.
Even though one of them was PK Subban. So like, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like still, ESPN audio, terrible.
Thank you. Okay, because I thought it was the stream that I was watching that I was not paying for. And I literally was like, the producer was like, the audio on the ice, like the ambient sound is way too loud and the commentators are too quiet.
You can't hear them.
And I was losing it. And he was like, no, that's just the stream. I'm like, no way.
ESPN is like that. Their audio is, it was worse than usual that night. But their hockey audio is often like that. The ice is so loud.
It doesn't have to be. That's literally like, do you see my little dial?
I see your dial on the board.
I forget what it's called. I should know. It's my profession.
It's the dial. The slider.
You just go like that.
Yeah.
You just slide it down.
Yeah.
Slide it up.
No, they do that on purpose.
Their audio guy's deaf.
Yes.
Sorry.
Maybe.
No, but like I get that. Like the ASMR hockey sounds. It does. It is.
I like right.
But like
I like a little ice sound.
Turn it down when the commentators are speaking.
Yes. It could be way more well balanced.
It's so bad. The amount of money for ESPN and the amount of effort to watch one of these games. By the time I get this game on, they're already on the penalty kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, the game itself, TBH, was just kind of, I found it kind of boring.
Especially the second period. Nothing happened in it.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember one of the commentators actually said this not until the fight that I'm going to talk about later. They were like, now we got a game. But there was nothing happening before that.
There were a couple of moments. I mean, the Panthers really kept the Devils at bay for the first period. The second one was just kind of boring. And you know what I noticed? Like recently, I feel like the Devils don't score on their breakaways anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's part of the reason why people are talking about Jack a little bit less. Because he was always kind of like had these big fancy breakaway goals.
Right.
And recently, anytime the Devils get a breakaway, I don't even blink because I know it's not going in. Like at one point, Nico had this beautiful moment where like he outskated his man. It's just him and the goalie. He has all of the time in the world and he just takes a shot right at the goalie's chest. I didn't even look up.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not going in.
Honestly, the fight was the highlight of this game for me.
Okay.
The shootout, honestly, I didn't mind going to a shootout because we got one shootout.
Yeah, so I mean,
I mind.
Yes, I mind as well. And
I hate shootouts so much.
Well, I don't like it, but I mean,
and they got there
one
because
flavor for the season.
They didn't even open scoring until the third period. That's how boring this game was.
Yes.
The third period, guess who opens the scoring?
I don't remember.
Jesper fucking Boquist.
Yep.
Classic ex-Devil.
Yep.
I remember somebody talking about that on the broadcast.
It's just always going to be our exes.
Yep. It's inevitable.
Makes me excited for the Stars game, though.
That's true.
Brendan Smith Revenge Tour.
It's the only one that I will allow.
But, you know, Nico decides to do some captain shit and hustles. That's the only word I can use to describe. Hustles to tie it up with like the luckiest bounce the Devils have ever had, which honestly, they don't get lucky bounces.
No.
They only get unlucky bounces.
Yeah.
So this was exciting.
Was lucky.
Yeah. And you know what? You know who had to be a big crying baby about that? A wah-wah baby.
I hope you're going to say Tkachuk.
Fucking Matthew Tkachuk. Not a single day goes by that this man isn't wetting his diaper. I can't.
Especially if Nico does anything, he takes it so personally. Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, I'm going to talk about it a little more in detail, but the close-up of him in the penalty box talking to the refs, trying to plead his case. Did you guys see the look on his face?
Yes.
Tkachuk or Nico?
Tkachuk.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, why am I in here? Like, they teamed up against me. I don't understand.
I'm just a baby. I need my bottle.
And I was like,
yeah,
get a freaking, I know,
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this in the later segment.
Yeah. So what happened during the shootout?
Okay. So here's the thing. Shootouts are stupid and should not exist. And
I agree.
Hate him.
bad. And you know who's bad at shootouts? All of the Devils. Apparently, except for Paul Cotter.
Yes.
Yes, not him. He apparently rocks at it. DJ Policy.
I don't know if I misheard this, but I heard that he had practiced it.
Ooh.
I also think we'll talk about like the lineup that they sent out there. I was shocked when Cotter went out there, but pleased because he made it.
Yeah, I was honestly excited because
Yeah.
you know who
I was
I
like, it
didn't
was
want to
somebody
see out
new.
there? Didn't want to see Jack
I didn't
out
want to
there.
see Jack.
Didn't really want to
Nope.
see Jesper Bratt.
No, I didn't either. I'm like, I feel like they're put under that pressure all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just, sometimes we got to change it up. I wanted to see Timo.
Yes.
I would see Cotter, Timo, throw in
A wild card.
anybody,
Yeah.
anyone
Mhm.
that's not Jack.
The fact that we
Who's
can't
your
think
wild
of a
card?
third one is
Well,
I'd probably still put Brad out there, but not
yeah.
third.
Yeah.
Like, I
I'd put Bratt in the middle.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I would send like Lazar just for funsies.
Okay.
I feel like
I feel like Brett Pesci could do it somehow.
exactly.
His dad said on Twitter that he is not good at it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
He just has the vibe of someone who would be able to do a shootout. I can't
Yeah,
explain it.
apparently
Sure.
people thought so, but nope.
Wow.
His dad's being like, nah, don't put that kid
He
out.
literally, he said no.
That's incredible. I would put Dawson Mercer out there.
Actually, I would have been fine with
Yeah,
that.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Cotter,
Dawson
Mercer,
Mercer has had a
Timo.
couple breakaways recently that haven't
Yeah.
connected, but he does like go for the breakaways. So I think maybe he would have had the confidence to attempt it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the way this went, it was Paul Cotter scored and then Barkov scored. And there was some like controversy about this. Some people didn't think that shot actually went in.
I
It
agree.
was the last one that I
They
thought didn't
didn't-
go in.
Oh,
Personally.
Oh, the last. Yeah,
Oh,
the last
okay.
one.
Yeah.
So I was confused. I thought people were saying this one didn't go in.
No,
I was like,
no.
this one definitely went in.
It was the last
No,
one.
the
I
last
thought it
one.
skated in the blue paint. I didn't get to watch the replay.
So Bratt and Reinhardt both missed on their shots, and it all
Yes.
came down to Jack and Lindell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Jack, of course, missed.
Why'd they put him out last? Why?
He needs to be second. He's not your third hitter.
Nope.
He's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
We've
think
talked about this before. It puts too much pressure on him and he chokes
Mhm.
yes,
almost every time.
yeah.
Mhm.
He tries to get too fancy with it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
we could have gone Cotter, Jack, Bratt.
Yeah.
I personally would have put Timo in there, but
I agree.
Yes.
But I would have flipped if we had to keep the same grouping. Flipped Jack
Jesper
and Bratt.
Bratt is the most level-headed, cool man I have ever seen.
I feel like he does better under more pressure.
I agree. I agree. The more he pissed off he is, the better he plays.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, it was that Lundell shot.
Yes. And it like slammed down and hit the line like exactly.
Mm.
And I guess that's all that it needed to count as crossing the line. But to me, I just kind of sat there like, oh, okay.
I
And
thought it was
Everyone's cheering.
right. I thought they were going to replay it and be like, oh my gosh, that actually didn't go in. Like I thought it bounced
If
off.
it was a devil goal, they would have.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. They would have. Well, flip these flipping, flopping flip shootouts.
That's what I'm always saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
All my homies hate shootouts.
Yeah. Are we ready to talk about the fourth OT this week?
Honestly, at this point, I was just like, let's just be hee hee ha ha and make all of them OT.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least we'll get a point.
Yeah. You know
whatever.
what?
Mhm.
Someone posted, I think it was probably Daniel Amoya or someone.
Mhm.
He's always out there crunching the Devils
Yep.
math. But he said that like the Devils could basically pull this shit for like the rest of the season and still make the playoffs.
That's
Really?
incredible.
And I just
Oh
think
my
they should.
Lord.
I just
Ugh.
think that would be funny.
Yes, but for my mental health sake, they can't do that.
I agree.
I will have a breakdown.
Soon as we go into the Maple Leafs game, this goes to OT. Of course, I'm disappointed that this didn't go the way I wanted, but I did think that to myself. I was like, I rather just if we just take points,
Mhm.
at least our losses have something rather than nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because they still took 5 points out of these games, right? Am I doing math right?
Like it was so nice to see them take away numbers rather than have nothing.
Right. Because realistically speaking, the Devils were never going to win all 4 of these games. So here, let's do some Devils math.
Okay.
If they had won all 4 of these games, the max they could get is 8 points. But the Devils cannot string together that many wins. Let's say maybe they won 3 of them. Okay, they get 6 points. Maybe they only won 2 of them. Okay, they get 4 points. They got 5 points. So they're right in between the amount of points they realistically would have gotten if they had been winning more of these games. You see what I'm saying? You see how it's mathing, right?
Yeah,
When
it is
you look at it
mathing.
that way, that's really not terrible.
It's kind of okay.
I think there's really something to the Islander strategy that we need to like look at. I like
Who
that.
have we become? Man, we were giving them so much shit last year for that. And now look at us.
Now we're like, actually, the loser point is great.
Yeah, actually, now that we're getting it, it's great.
The loser point is fine as long as it's my team getting it and no one else.
I mean, I still think there is a bit of an OT problem and they're cursed to continue going to overtime because Sheldon Keefe made that comment about having no plan for it.
Yep.
Wait, what was
Just
that?
jinxed himself.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Literally
there was
right
a
before
comment.
their first overtime game, he made some statement saying they don't have a plan for overtime because they haven't gotten there yet. And then they have gone to overtime 5 times since then.
Oh my
I
God.
think Sheldon Keefe just learned what the Devils jinx, this witchery, this thing we've been talking about for
you
2
can't
seasons
say
now.
Things.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
You need any more proof that the Jersey Devil is real? Just make a public statement about the Jersey Devils and watch it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That man's out there listening and he's doing some witchcraft.
Yeah.
I took no notes on this game
Because what is there to say?
Yeah.
Literally, there was a couple fun things, but I'm not going to get too into it, but I was in the process of deskunking a lot of laundry during this game, which is why I didn't really get to take some notes.
Truthfully, you can really sum this game up in podcast favorite Nico Heischer and podcast
Oh my
mortal
gosh.
enemy Austin
forgot.
Matthews.
That he was out there. Okay, I do have one note about this game.
What you got?
Besides the gameplay, the producer is obsessed with the Toronto Maple Leafs helmets. Did you know they're sponsored by Oreo?
Yes, I did see
He
that.
is just such an Oreo boy.
I know. He couldn't let it go the whole game and really wanted some Oreos that we did not. I guess also something that was hard about this game was it was Sheldon Keefe's first time back
Yes,
to
it was.
the Maple Leafs arena.
And I feel sad. I'm disappointed that they weren't able
Same.
to get that for him. And that shot of him sprinting back to the locker room as soon as the game was over, you only see the back of his head. Like I felt like
You could
I'm
feel
not on
it.
the team, but I wanted to win for him so bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Something about that was so hard. Like, because I remembered, I'm like, they're going to interview him after the game. I was like, is he going to say no to the interview? I was just, you could just tell it's just a lot of emotion. This game had a lot of emotion.
This one was the most frustrating to me because this is the one that, of all of them, even over the Rangers game, I would say, this is the one that they like properly needed to win.
Yes.
I think just for their coach. And it's just a shame that they weren't able to do it.
I agree. And for their confidence,
Yeah.
it was tough. All right, Allie, let's talk about the third period. Let's talk about the OT because that's all we got this week. More OT.
Another one.
I literally sat there and I said to myself, oh my God, they're going to do it for the 4th time. They're going to go to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nico Heischer, podcast favorite, pulled some captain shit and scored a beautiful goal. And I went, oh, thank God. You've saved us. And
I thought
he
the same
scored,
thing.
spun around, tripped and fell. And while he's like laying on the ice, he has the biggest smile on his face. And I'm just like, oh, he's so happy. I'm so happy. They're going to win this game. It's going to be beautiful. But I had a feeling. I had a sinking feeling down in my little heart. I knew, Shannon, I knew Austin Matthews wasn't going to let that go unanswered.
He's out there.
He's out there like the shark from Jaws.
Yes.
Still in a
Yeah, Keith talked about that in his interview. It's like you give him that ice, he's going to take it and it's going to connect.
Yeah.
And
boy,
you
did
can't
they give
even
him that ice.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they just got sloppy or they just got tired or they just got excited or what, but that shortly after Nico's goal, the Devils were not careful about shutting down Austin Matthews. And he came up the side with like, honestly, that's the most beautiful shot I've ever seen in my life.
It was a great shot.
That was a sexy goal.
Yeah.
I don't even
Real
want to
sharp angle snipe. It was nice.
It was beautiful. He sniped that shit.
Yeah.
It almost made me like Austin Matthews for a second. Like I put aside the fact that now our team was screwed because I was so impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like having positive feelings towards Austin.
No, my feelings should be off. Yeah.
I almost just like spit taked my water there. So we go to OT and we paid for our mistakes. I think we paid for our lack of, maybe not discipline isn't the right word, but definitely we were not on top of it.
They sure were not. And what they specifically were not on top of, because at first they really dominated that first 1 minute of overtime.
Yes. I was like, we had possession of the puck. I'm like,
the whole time. Yeah, they took a number of shots.
We hit the crossbar.
And then it came time. Oh, God, that shot by Luke.
So close.
He had a wide open net. If that had gone in.
Luke needs to have a talk with the crossbar. They need to become friends.
Yeah.
They need to repair the relationship.
Yeah. Maybe Luke should just like sleep in the net for a night.
Yeah. It might help.
Should really become one with the goal.
Well, he needs to be the goaltender anyway, so it's perfect for him.
And you know what happened? That beautiful first minute ends. It's time for a change. Luke is wandering off towards the bench. Leisurely. Dougie Hamilton's coming off the bench. And William Nylander is just standing right there with nothing to do and no one to block him.
I'd rather have taken a too many men on the ice penalty and attempted for a shorthanded goal than this sloppy, but just
goal?
like, because we would have been on the penalty kill.
Okay, sorry, that didn't connect. My brain, I didn't understand what you were saying.
I would have rather had been down a man than let this opportunity happen.
Right.
Because it just felt like so deflating. It wasn't.
You could see that because as soon as Nylander had the puck, Dougie was like barely on the ice. He tried to like chase him down, but there was nothing going to happen there.
Yeah.
There was nothing Markstrom could do. You saw Nico trying to like chase him down from the other side of the ice. And if you watch the overhead view, before Nylander even takes his shot, Nico, who like hustles to the end, pulls up because you can even see him being like, this is going in.
There's nothing.
Everyone knew it was going in. Keith was already halfway to the locker room before that shot was taken.
Yep.
Yes, he was gone. Yeah, it was disappointing. And it was very interesting because during Keith's interview at the end, I liked how even though he was clearly upset, Bryce was trying to do that. I forget what to call it.
There wasn't much to be. Bryce was like, what did you think about this game? I don't know if there was like much to be like positive about, whatever. And Keith was like, I think there's lots to be positive about.
And I really liked that Keith is like, he's not letting, like, he understands. That's why he's a professional coach. You take away the positives and you work on the negatives. Yeah. And I liked that even though this was very emotional for him. And the interview, you could tell that it was a lot. I was happy that I was able to fight through it and just say, no, we did great. Sure, we messed up, but we're still great.
Yeah, that's something I do like about Keith, especially because we've speculated multiple times that this is a team that can get in their head. Yes. Obviously, we don't know for sure because we're not like in the locker room listening to their conversations. Yeah. But they play like a team that when something happens, it gets a little mental.
Yes.
And so I think it's probably nice to have a coach who doesn't like panic after the game. And it's just like, here's what didn't go so great. Here's what we can improve. But here was what was okay. That's probably nice because you don't have to get like freaked out about it. You can just try again next time. I will say though, this is one of those games where like they could have won this and they easily should have because they had the lead every single time. They opened the scoring. The final score is 3-4. So the Devils had the lead 3 times and they blew it every single time.
Yep.
So like that, you got to find a way to fix that.
Incredibly frustrating. Yep.
And I do think part of the problem, this is what I meant when I said I had like a slightly different opinion from you. I do think part of the problem was leaving Markstrom out to dry a couple times, not defending Austin Matthews. Like you're playing the Leafs and you're leaving Austin Matthews and William Nylander open multiple times.
Yeah.
Like you have to be on those guys like flies, like the most annoying person on the ice, not give them like a second to breathe.
Yeah.
So I just like little like things like that maybe could be tighter.
Well, I have nothing else to say about this game.
Nope.
Besides, hopefully next time we have this talk, there's a plan for OT.
The tale of the 1 game goals and the overtime is complete.
I hope so.
The experiment is finished. We have done enough of this.
Yep.
We can go back to winning in regulation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to talk about this fight. Let's get into our Skrkuffle Award.
Hell yeah.
Because this is where we give awards to the most cinematic fights of the week. And this fight, I don't even know, what did I call it? Did I even write it down?
It's called a big baby tantrum.
Oh, I was going to say it was the fights of like model hair flips, but that was not where I was going with it. Okay, so this was Nico Hischier versus Matthew Tkachuk during the Panthers game. 3rd period? I don't even know what
it was
period.
3rd period, yeah. Because it was after Nico scored.
Didn't even go back and watch the replay. I was so emotional about this fight that I wrote all this down from memory.
I watched it multiple times just to make myself angrier.
So Tkachuk hit Nico against the boards, and it was a nasty hit. It was underhanded. I would say absolutely careless. You could have called this, I don't know, charging. Did Tkachuk possibly leave his feet when you rewatch the replay? He left the ice.
I think Tkachuk flew across the ice.
Also, was there a shoulder to the head? I think so.
Yes.
This wasn't just a hit against the boards. This was a
personal.
Dangerous play, and it was purposeful, and it was personal. And this led to possibly one of my favorite brawls this season. Siegenthaler strikes faster than any Panther. He pounced on Tkachuk soon as he saw this hit because he saw it, because he knew it, and we all knew it, except the refs, that was dirty. Mm-hmm. That was a shoulder to the head.
Even if it was a clean hit, quite frankly, it was definitely targeted because Tkachuk just has a bone to pick with Nico.
Yes.
It was completely intentional. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Nico, I think I read an article headline. I don't know if someone said it, but I think there was a quote in there that Nico himself said he felt emotional about that hit.
Yeah,
and that was why he got off the ice so fast to team up with Siegenthaler to start punching Tkachuk. I've never seen the Devils fly so fast together to pounce on somebody, to be like, I don't think so. You don't get away with that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not
There
happy.
was this moment when Siegenthaler had like tackled Tkachuk to the ground, and then you can kind of see Nico like reaching up to get in the fight, and he kind of just like hands him over so that Nico can start fighting him.
Yes.
And I'm like, honestly, I would be pissed off too. Like that.
Yes.
Tkachuk just hates him.
Yes.
He 100% did that just to like humiliate him after scoring and piss the Devils off.
Absolutely. And I liked the Devils' response to this. So what's so funny about that? About Siegs handing over Tkachuk for Nico to start beating on him? The rest of the team was, what did I say here? The rest of the team showed more stealth again than any of the Panthers out there, swooping in, picking off the players. Like there was this beautiful moment where like Kovacevic, like one of the Panthers players, goes to help Tkachuk to rip off Siegs and Nico. And Kovacevic just takes him right out of there. Then Mercer right behind, takes the other guy out of there. And Timo. It was like a coordinated ballet how they came in and just grabbed these guys. It's like,
it was like
we're going to give them as much time as possible to beat on Tkachucky.
It was like lions at the watering hole. They were just going after
Everyone's
the gazelles.
Get their piece in.
This was crazy. I hated it. I hated that Tkachuk tried to plead his case to the rest of just like, I don't understand. Everyone teamed up against me. And then it was like, no, you know what you did. I don't even know. He's like, he knows what he did wrong, but trying to act innocent made me so much angrier.
Yeah,
like he thinks he's going to get away with it. And I like that the Devils didn't let him get away with it, even though he didn't get the penalty I think he should have.
Yeah, it's very much one of those things where like it is, I guess, kind of debatable whether or not it was a clean hit because Nico was near the puck and
Sure,
it's
the
hard
puck
to
was in
tell
play.
if his shoulder actually made contact. Even like I think it did like make contact with his head, but it doesn't look like he necessarily like intended to.
He didn't stick it out, but he definitely.
It's very borderline. It's one of those that you can kind of get away with like, oh, woe is me. Like I didn't mean to do that. I just like hit him. That's just part of the game. But when you know like the history of how much Tkachuk just targets Nico all the time. And the fact that he did it right after he scored.
Right.
It's just
And
so
jumped.
obvious. And
Like,
jumped.
come on.
Yeah.
He jumped.
He's just being a doo-doo head.
Exactly. So the penalties that resulted from this, Tkachuk got a 2-minute minor for interference. Like
Which interference is just a weird.
And then
weird call.
Yeah, Nico and Siegenthaler both got 2-minute minors for roughing, which I also thought was funny.
Yeah, that one's fair. They did beat him up pretty good.
Yeah.
Well.
My favorite part of this fight, though, was Siegenthaler and Nico have hair at that perfect length where it's just in their eyes because it's so long. So every time they have their helmet off, they have to flip their head and to flip their hair out of their eyes. So I was just joking to myself. I was like, it's just it's like a commercial. It's like a hair commercial.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's an award for best hair commercial.
I think there can be if you want it.
Whatever you want.
This is the award.
Cool.
All right, let's get into the real.
Oh yeah,
the drama.
Stuff.
I want to hear about.
All right.
What are the whispers on the Twitter wins this week?
Oh, okay. We got a lot of different conversations that were on social media.
Okay.
Something that I just thought was fun. Twitter mutual Sabrina, bestie, love you, suggests that Ticketmaster should have an offer option because, you know, people are talking about like the Rangers game and how shortly, like there were a lot of tickets left for sale and the prices did get a little bit cheaper right before that game, but still not necessarily cheap enough for like right before a game. And she was like, why doesn't Ticketmaster have an offer option like eBay or Poshmark or something where you can just be like, okay, you're selling this ticket for $100. I'll give you 80.
Huh.
And then the seller can like accept it if they want to. Because I feel like if I was selling tickets and it's like an hour before the game and no one's wanted to buy it, but and I'm not going to use it anyway, and someone's like, hey, I'll give you $20 for that ticket, I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's $20 more than I would get by just not using the ticket. So
yeah,
I just thought that was interesting. And I think they should do that.
I like it.
Some other weird things.
I just read it. I don't like it.
Sharks
Why?
fans gatekeeping Macklin Celebrini.
In what way?
What?
So obviously because they got Macklin as the first overall draft pick this year, the Sharks have had a little bit more attention than usual. And
which is great for their franchise.
well, people are now pulling the whole, you're not a real Sharks fan. You weren't here before Macklin Celebrini. You're only jumping on the bandwagon because of Macklin.
You want the team to get money. You need new people there. If
You need
he's
new fans.
drawing new fans, that's better for everybody.
My hottest sports fandom take is that there's no such thing as bandwagoning.
It's a sports team.
Like, that's the whole thing. Sports teams, like everything, are more popular when they're doing good or have someone popular on the team. And it is good for your team to be more popular because then they get more money and attention and more good players and more everything you want as a fan.
Yes.
And like,
where's the downside here?
Of course, a team has more fans when they're doing well. Oh, you're just jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah, people like rooting for winners.
Absolutely.
Like, hello, this is an entertainment field.
Also, what am I supposed to say to somebody who's like, you weren't here before? But like, do you get loyalty points? Like, I don't understand.
Not from the Devils, you sure don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a punch
genuinely.
card?
Like, how are you supposed to build loyalty if you don't start at some point?
Don't you know you're only allowed to root for a team if you were born in that team's jersey?
I guess so. Darn.
Damn. I was pretty close.
You were. Your dad probably would have done that if your mom would have let him.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what was happening in Sharks Twitter this week.
Interesting.
Other things that were happening in Twitter is I made the Rempe fangirls angry.
What happened? I missed this.
So I made a tweet before the Rangers game. We were talking about how Matt Rempe is claiming that he's turning over a new leaf now that he's back from his most recent suspension. And he doesn't want to just be the guy who like is known for getting in fights and getting suspended. And I like made some sort of joke about Matt Rempe picking now to be the time that he's turning over a new leaf when it's obvious he was called up just to fight Curtis McDermott in the Devils Rangers game.
Yeah.
Obviously, that ended up not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's obvious. And they were kind of like squaring off allegedly, some people claimed during like warm-ups. But I think it's obvious that Matt Rempe genuinely does not want to get more penalties. He doesn't want to get suspended because he's not stupid. I think he does want to actually be able to take some time to play in the NHL and
crazy thing
practice.
Yeah.
So that's like totally reasonable. And I also think with this being like a 1-goal game where the Rangers and Devils were so close back and forth with each other, it's stupid to fight and potentially put your team on the disadvantage with a penalty kill. I'm positive that if the Rangers had been winning by multiple goals, or if the Devils had been winning by multiple goals and the Rangers had nothing left to lose, that it would have gotten much more aggressive.
Totally different story. I agree.
But with it being a 1-goal game, it's not worth it. Yeah. In any case, obviously they didn't end up fighting. The night of the, so I tweeted that before the game. The game happens. The day after the game, because Rangers fans don't know how to just move on and live their life the next day. This tweet somehow lands on Rangers Twitter.
Oh.
And I'm flooded with responses, retweets, some messages about how you're so dumb. Don't you know? They didn't even fight. Yeah, no shit. I tweeted that before the game. I didn't get my crystal ball out for this one.
Wow. They really got you.
And so then when it got like, I was like kind of ignored. I mean, it was just like middle-aged men
people are just gonna
saying like sexist puck bunny shit, you know?
Oh, that's when that happened.
Yeah. I was getting some very questionable misogynistic remarks.
Yikes.
What else do you expect from the middle-aged Ranger fans? But then I got it from the girls too. We love some woman-on-woman crime.
In the name of Matt Rempe? No, thank you.
In the name of Matt Rempe?
No, thank you.
Of all people.
Why?
Really? Yeah, I forgot that Matt Rempe's like one of the young it boys of hockey.
That's insane.
Okay, again, why?
And so, yeah, I got some heat from the girls too. And I have a rule that I don't like engage with like drama with other women online, because especially not in like hockey Twitter, because women already get criticized enough by men.
Yeah.
So as this started
they're
happening,
probably teenagers too. So.
Right. Like they're teenagers or like just freshly early 20s. So I'm not going to
not going to bother with that.
Yeah. I'm not going to be that person. They're going to grow up and realize
and look back and be like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
So instead I just locked down my Twitter and was like, this tweet has hit too many. It needs to get off Rangers Twitter. This needs to go away. And now that you can't block people on Twitter anymore, the block function basically doesn't work because they can still see things.
Really?
Wait, really? I block people left and right.
You can block people, but it doesn't work. They can still see your posts. You just don't see them.
Oh.
So if they look for your posts and stuff, they can still find it. So like I blocked all of like the men who were like interacting with that tweet saying rude things, but they were still able to respond to each other in their replies. And so I still kept getting the notifications from all of them. Whoa. So I literally just had to like lock down the whole account for a while, which is why if you were following, there was no like post about last week's episode, because I was just like, I'm just going to keep it completely quiet for a little bit.
It's funny that it was Matt Rempe.
was
the topic of conversation.
Mea culpa. I forgot that he's one of the It Boys.
I didn't know he was one to begin with.
Yeah.
But now I know.
You know what it is? With the Devils, you have lots of It Boys that you can root for. So the girls we're all divided with our favorites, you know?
Fair.
Yeah.
You can be a Jack
choice.
girl. You can be a Luke girl. You can be a Nico girl. You can be
a Timo.
You can be a Timo girl. You know?
Markstrom.
Mercer.
Yeah.
Literally almost everybody on the team.
But I don't are there Panarin girlies?
I don't know.
Are there Adam Fox girlies?
Honestly, if you are, shout out. I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Shesterkin's cool. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
He is a fine dresser.
He is a fine dresser.
It's true.
Listen, I might hate the Rangers, but I am an Igor Shesterkin fan. But Matt Rempe's kind of the it boy they have right now.
I guess so. Yeah.
And
Weird.
I dissed the It Boy. I don't even think I dissed him, but I dissed
No,
the It
really.
Boy, and I paid for it. Sorry, Matt.
We're just, I guess, spoiled, and I didn't realize. I took it for granted how many It Boys we had on the Devils.
My personal favorite response was when someone was like, they're like, oh yeah, well the only reason Curtis McDermott is on the Devils is to fight Matt Rempe. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And I don't like watching him play hockey either.
Right.
We
don't think
agree
he's the
on
best or
this.
something. What do you want?
This isn't a burn. I agree with you, sir.
Yeah.
Please. Do you want to take him? Because
have him.
he's yours.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right. We'll get out of that topic.
Okay.
You guys know what Raya is?
Mm-hmm.
You, I think, explained this to me once before.
I think so. Okay, so Raya is. I feel like I've explained this to you before, even on
I
this
think
podcast.
we have on the show.
I think you have. Is this the thing where the
I think that's
celebrities
where we heard about it.
Take the
A dating app.
It's a celebrity. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a celebrity dating app.
okay.
Not necessarily celebrity. It's just kind of. Celebrities are on this dating app, but other
Yes.
regular people can get on it. I have friends on it, but you can get on it through referrals.
Okay.
And you have to pay for it. So someone found Quinn Hughes's Raya and did something you're never supposed to do on Raya. This shit will get you blocked. They posted photos of his profile.
Yeah.
And Raya is one of those things. I don't know if it's
It's probably why people pay
right. That's the whole
to keep it private.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's one of those things that has a screenshot blocking function or
Probably.
it's something like that
Mhm.
where if you post screenshots of these profiles on social media too, you'll get blocked from the app permanently.
Yeah.
So what's funny about this is someone clearly took pictures of their phone with their iPad or some shit or with someone else's
that's
phone.
silly.
If you scroll down, the pictures are here.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh.
And they posted pictures of Quinn's Raya profile. And can I just
So
say,
funny.
stop.
his name is listed as Quinn, age 25, profession hockey.
Yep.
Vancouver, Canada, visiting Montreal, Canada. Wonder what he's there for.
Huh?
These are the photos professional athlete Quinn Hughes chose for his
Okay.
Raya
That's what he
profile.
picked for himself. That first one. That's
I actually love this. I love that no matter the app, no matter how much you pay, the type of people you're expected to be on there, men will post the same. Their profile will be no
They're
different
so bad.
Yeah.
if you
He's
are
just a guy.
a millionaire or just the dude next door who delivers pizza. There's no difference.
Yep, the profiles look the same because this
that is
this
a
is
guy.
an arrival photo of Quinn, in motion. It is not posed.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look terrible. He looks like himself.
But the thing is that Quinn, he always looks so sad.
Yeah.
There's
Always.
definitely a better arrival
There's
photo.
Gotta be ones
There's
where he's
gotta
kind
be.
of smiling.
Yes.
Gotta
Yes.
be.
Yeah. And there's posed photos of him at events that look much better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Much more put together.
It's just funny that
And then the next photo where he's just a head in a lake,
Yep.
you can't even see him. And
What are
the
we looking
photo's
at?
crooked.
the
Yep.
amount of those that you have shown me on the dating app, Sally.
What this
That
makes me
photo.
realize is how many potentially otherwise hot men I've rejected on dating apps because they just don't know how to pick photos.
Possibly.
But my brain just like exploded.
This is why dating apps don't work. You just have to meet people out in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Like
the
Bigfoot.
woods.
Like my boyfriend Bigfoot.
Exactly.
He's out there.
He is out there.
And he ate the man who stood me up.
Oh.
Well,
Anyway, Quinn, buddy, you could do better than this. But
You
at the
could.
same time, I kind of think it's funny that this is what you're
I
going for.
Do too.
I also love there's like this weird like
He's just a
just
guy.
honesty to it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's like I'm not trying to I'm like I'm here and that's it. I
Yep.
guess the difference about this version of it is that I know that he's a professional athlete that makes a lot of money and has this incredible career and a lot going for him. But if I saw these photos and didn't know this about him, I'd be like, swipe.
Yeah.
I
It's a
don't
guy.
know if it's left or right, but
I think
reject.
I don't know how
Quinn
this
Hughes
works.
is not my type, so either way, it would be a swipe left. But
Yeah, fair.
you know what? I respect the humble Raya profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't take pictures of
Yeah,
it,
don't
guys.
do
What are you
that.
doing?
No.
What the hell? And speaking of things that are weird and creepy to do to
Mhm.
athletes, would y'all like to talk about Tumblr again?
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh, no.
What happened? Oh
All right.
no.
I'm here. Let's do it. Why not?
So there's lots of Tumblr accounts that are dedicated to just talking about team gossip. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tumblr hockey gossip pages are a scary place to go to. I don't go to that corner of
Yeah.
the internet. I think like
Yeah.
once or twice to like look for content of this for this segment I have, and every single time I end up reading something I wish I could unread.
Hmm.
And there was a post that made the rounds. I couldn't even put a screenshot of this or like describe it. I just had to like let myself remember as much as I could because like this is so invasive and weird.
Oh.
There's like a Tumblr account. One of a common question on all of these like hockey gossip Tumblr accounts. Usually they like focus on one particular team. People love
Okay.
to ask like which players are single and which players
Sure.
have like dating rumors. And I've said it
Yeah.
before, but like it's so crazy to me how some people like pay close attention to like athletes or celebrities follower count to see how many accounts they're following. And then when the number of accounts that they're following goes up, they try to figure out who it is.
Ugh.
Oh.
It's I get a job.
I was just
Yeah.
going to say, get a job as an analyst.
A
I don't
hobby.
know.
Get a
Anything.
hobby. Get a job. Get a hobby.
Yeah.
Log
What?
off.
Do something else.
Log off Instagram. Stop giving Mark Zuckerberg money. So on a lot of the NJ Devils like gossip blogs, people like to ask particularly about Nico and Timo because
Okay.
they never really bring like girlfriends to any of the events.
Yeah.
That anyone
Mhm.
knows of at least. So people obviously were asking if Nico and Timo were single.
Okay.
And what's funny about these blogs is this question will make the rounds every couple of weeks. And the answer is always the same. It's always something about like Nico having a Raya profile or something, blah, 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 blah. And someone asked a follow-up question.
Oh.
I don't even want to, this is so invasive. Someone asked a follow-up question about what Nico is like hooking up wise. And someone was like, and this person running this blog answered
Huh?
and was like, oh, I have a source. Like she knows a girl who has hooked up with him. And is like, I have a source. I will give you details. They're coming
You
soon.
fucking don't stop being 12 years old on the internet. Ew.
First off, do not believe that at
100%.
all. Total bullshit. And
But-
also, even if they did know somebody, why would you ask that?
Right.
Yeah.
That is so.
That's so invasive.
That's so
Ugh.
to a stranger on the internet.
right. Can you imagine
You just
too,
don't.
like how isolating that would feel? Like you want to date, like you want to
Right.
date someone, but you don't know what they're going to end up posting about you online.
That's horrible.
Like,
And
I think
I hate this.
a lot
All
of
it.
stuff that I think is posted on these blogs is fake, which
Yeah.
almost makes it even worse because you can just
Mhm.
say whatever you want on these gossip blogs. I could just submit a post, like a secret post being like, oh, I dated so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could Photoshop some shit, make some screenshots. You can, and who's gonna who can disprove you? even if most people don't believe you, it's still out there on the internet. You can like damage someone's reputation. It's just creepy.
Leave them alone. Stop being 12 years old on the internet.
Literally.
Get a hobby. Get a job.
Get a
do
life.
something.
Get a life, I say, as I record this podcast.
I'm so mad.
I know. It pisses me off if I think about it for too long.
I hate
Especially
that.
as someone who's like, I feel like all three of us are kind of private people, despite doing this. But you know what I mean? Like we are actually kind of private people. And that just like, oh God.
Yeah.
I would never date again if I saw one of these posts. Like I could never Google myself.
Ew.
No. I think what makes me so upset about it is just because somebody is famous doesn't mean they're not human and still have the same emotions and feelings that we go through.
Yeah,
like
really.
money changes a lot of things, but at the same time, it's like they're the same person.
Yeah.
Like they could be your friend, your sister, your brother. And if somebody did that to my friend, I'd be, or to me, I'd be so upset. Like
That's really
just
fucked up. Nah.
because he is a professional player doesn't mean that you get to treat him like he's not human.
Right.
Like, whereas,
especially because like Nico has always been very open with fans. Like he's one of those guys who always waits to give people autographs and like is very polite and like friendly with fans. Unlike someone like Jack, who is a little more standoffish, which can you blame him?
Whatever.
Nope.
No.
And so like I think he's someone who gives a lot to the fans, who like is willing to do a lot of public events. So like if he wants to keep
like genuine
a part of his life private, whatever it is,
Yeah.
like maybe just let him.
allow him. Yeah.
Think you don't need to know all the private details of his life.
No, you do not.
Stop asking about it on Tumblr. Stop posting about it on Tumblr.
Get off of Tumblr.
Get off of Tumblr. Actually, your life
That's
will be
the
so much
answer.
better.
Yeah, it really would.
Oh my God.
This is not where I was expecting this segment to go this week.
I told you
this is a lot.
I'd so much. And there's still more.
Okay.
Damn.
Bringing up like things I'm just sick of.
Okay.
Michael McLeod.
Oh, this.
What happened? I actually have no idea.
A lot of Devils fans have been dooming this week and talking about things the Devils need to do better, blah, 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 blah,
Okay.
blah. And anytime this happens, there always has to be someone. And there's this one account that I'm not going to name in particular that likes to do this whole whataboutism thing with Michael McLeod.
No.
And McLeod obviously had like a very high face-off percentage. He was good at face-offs. Cool.
Yeah.
You know
Cool.
who's first in the league at face-offs?
Isn't it Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it sure is.
It's Nico.
It is, in fact.
Yep.
Yes.
So maybe we're doing okay without him.
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
I think we certainly are. Yep.
So some people started, there always has to be some dude who posts the, say what you want about Michael McLeod, but the Devils are worse off without him, just from a hockey perspective, obviously.
I'm going to get a gun.
My very first reaction is the hockey perspective. Even from a hockey perspective, I don't effing think so.
It's not even true. Yeah.
It's not even true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Fitzgerald said, what did he say? No
dickheads.
No dickheads. Yep.
And you know what? That's
you want that shit in the locker room?
literally.
Yeah. I just hate that somebody even thinks it's okay to make that comment.
Yeah. And they do it intentionally.
It's on purpose.
Yeah. It's intentionally to be instigating because people inevitably respond to this with like, what the hell is wrong with you? Michael McLeod is a rapist. We don't want him on the team. Why are you even bringing him up? There's so many other talented players on the team. They're fine without him. And then the guys who post stuff like this always get to be like, whoa, like innocent until proven guilty. What are you talking about? And I didn't say anything about like him being a good person. I just said he was a good hockey player. And it's like, no,
He's not even that good.
Right. He was
Fuck
mediocre until like he knew that he was about to go to jail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Then he started trying.
Yep.
I hate that anybody online is even still that this is a part of conversation. And I hope that, like, I know we're talking about it, but just that people like don't give those people any more energy.
I know.
Like
Why are we continuing to bring it up? Why?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it is even a conversation piece, but like people need to understand I guess
There are things that are more important than hockey.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't care if he was the best hockey player in the world, which he wasn't.
Mhm.
I still wouldn't want him back.
I still wouldn't care. I
Nope.
still would think the Devils are better off without him.
Yep.
Couldn't say it any better.
Yeah.
There are more important things.
So in lighter news,
Okay.
let's have a little debate.
All right.
Okay.
Kovacevic,
Oh,
This
Nemitz.
is the
Oh.
debate.
So
this has been a point of debate lately. Yes.
because
All right, I'll bring it. I'm ready.
trade deadlines are coming up.
Debate hat is on.
So obviously with the trade deadline coming up, people are saying Johnny Kovacevic, Shimon Nemitz. If you had to keep one, gun to your head, you can only keep one. Who are you keeping? Who are you trading?
I'm ready.
Tell me.
I'm keeping Kovacevic.
Why?
Interesting.
I think his chemistry with Siegenthaler, they're the best defensive pair in the NHL. Those stats, everything, like he just came up, proved himself, and I think he fits well with the dynamic that's happening right now. I think Nemitz is an extremely valuable player, but I don't know if he fits in our current mix, what we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I rather trade Nemitz as a valuable piece and kind of let him excel somewhere else and then keep the good chemistry that we have right now.
Interesting. All right. Sarah, what do you think? Who are you keeping?
Surprised that Shannon said this because I thought I was going to have to play devil's advocate here because I completely agree. I think Nemitz he's a great player, and he has proved that he can play in the NHL. He has great potential, but I like where our defense looks right now. And like Shannon said, he doesn't quite fit in that exact lineup at the moment, but we also do still have some other good defense prospects coming up. I would love Seamus Casey to have a spot later on, but like he doesn't fit right now. So I'm not terribly worried about, future defense guys that we have coming up in the roster. I would be okay with losing Nemitz.
I will miss him dearly.
Yes.
But if I had to choose,
I'd pick Kovacevic as well.
I know. I've turned over this like new leaf.
I'm so surprised. What do you think, Allie?
Truthfully, I've thought about this and I don't really care either way. Okay. They can trade both of them away and I'd be like, whatever. Right. I'm finding I don't have strong opinions on defensemen, actually. That's what I'm really finding about myself.
Okay.
I only have strong opinions about the defensemen.
Between
Pesci and Luke and what they did during the Toronto game.
True, actually.
I actually, wow.
This is like, I'm more of an offense person. Yeah, this is the balance.
Well, let's not worry about it until it happens.
Exactly.
Because it's time to not worry about it. Because this is the segment where we don't worry about it.
We're just going to have to rapid fire these.
Yeah, sometimes I'm
cruise through it.
Random shit. And the announcers do it too. We got a lot. Rolling it off. First we got, he's a guy who eats pucks. New brand of cookie.
Pac-Man.
Turkey ice cream.
Ew.
We'll get into that one another time.
Yep. Don't worry about it.
Here's some zest. It's coming from Bill.
Thank you.
Still cooking. Take a deep breath, buddy. Bill to Dano. I remember this because Dano was stressed. I don't remember what game, but because Dano was like silent for like a period of time if this was it.
I need the Devils to like go to round 2, 3, 4 of the playoffs just so that we can have some Bill and Dano stress moments.
Yeah.
I love them.
I love this one. Starting to percolate. This was the ESPN guy after Cotter slammed a guy over the bench.
Starting to percolate.
Yep. There's a fish in the percolator.
Next we got, did he take a shoulder from Big Mac?
If someone called me Big Mac, I would cry.
Big Mac. Yep.
Next we got Mr. Verswaggy.
Verswaggy is incredible.
Who's
Incredible.
Verswaggy?
Verhage.
Oh.
Verswaggy.
He's got swag.
That's a great one, honestly. They should change his jersey to that.
You should.
This next one, I'm curious what they were talking about. You can eat on that?
Don't know.
What were they referencing?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
I'm just
Don't worry about
picturing that like Matthew Tkachuk is over at the boards chomping on them, eating some ice. He's like the kids at my Learn to Skate program, chewing on the snow, the chemical filled snow on the rink.
Oh, this one, as soon as I heard it,
wow.
I just ran to my computer and I started repeating this line in my head because I was like, I have to write it down. They are exposing a lot of guys and they are doing it on a nightly basis.
Stop doing that.
Thanks, ESPN.
Ugh.
This also comes from ESPN. So instead of filthy, we're going to get nasty. Nasty hands. They are clean but dirty at the same time, if you know what I mean, Bob.
This is something Trump would say. Nasty hands.
Yeah.
They're clean but dirty. What?
At the same time.
At the same time.
But you know what I mean, Bob.
God.
There is so many that I heard like this. I'm glad we got one on here.
Yep. Had to.
Hamilton double teamed. Why? Like, why?
Yep.
Why?
Why?
Yep. Don't worry
And
about
lastly, I think this is a good way to wrap out the segment. The Rangers have some smart dumps.
it. Ugh. Ugh.
That's true.
I will be a 10-year-old for a moment here and laugh. This is flipping funny. So we're not going to worry about it. And we're going to move on into our 8-boy of the week.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I thought I had somebody.
All right.
I don't.
I don't.
I picked one.
And now I might have with someone again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't
Ow.
know. You guys might have to go first.
All right.
I'll think of one.
I am going to nominate Stefan Nason because he had that fun overtime win in the Tampa game.
Yeah.
And
that's a good
also
one.
he's ill and I wish him well.
Norovirus got him good.
I hope he recovers soon as well. Do miss him out there.
But yeah, Stefan Nason, bald.
Yes, but when Stefan Nason bald, parentheses, affectionate,
Yes.
Austin Matthews bald, parentheses, derogatory.
Derogatory. Yeah.
I actually did.
Okay, I have a nomination.
A nomination.
Okay.
Oh, I'm scared to say it.
Why?
I can do mine first if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
I nominate Nico Hischier for punching Matthew Tkachuk.
Ooh. All right.
I was also going to nominate Nico
Yeah.
for
I
putting
think that's
in
fair.
the most hustle
I think that's
this
really fair.
week
Actually.
and last. I'm just doing it. He deserves it. He's being a captain. And I appreciate all the captain shit that he has been doing. The goal where he felt like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just also something that I really like is even though he gets upset, he has so much heart. He never lets the team, like that energy of defeat when we're not doing well, overtake him or the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we need that right now.
He just has such high hopes for them.
Okay. This is Nico.
It boy of the week. Nico
And
Hischier.
you know how earlier we said that Austin Matthews was the shark from Jaws? We said that earlier. If you didn't
Yeah.
remember that 2 hours ago. If Nico Hischier was also a horror movie villain,
Ooh.
it's going to be Jason.
Oh!
Yeah. Because
Because he's
Jason
on my shirt and
is
I want
Friday
to.
the 13th. And Nico
Yeah.
is number 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had nothing to do with my
Connecting the
shirt. There you go.
Who would be Chucky?
I hate
Ooh.
Chucky.
I guess
like
Dougie. He's a
the
redhead.
most. Yeah.
But Dougie's too. No.
He's such a chaotic, like Chucky's like Tkachucky.
Matthew
hate it.
Tkachuk. Matthew
Yeah.
Tkachuk.
Oh my Lord.
I have no transition.
You don't need
I'm
one.
thinking.
We don't need
okay,
one.
You don't
Just
need one.
Go
Yeah.
right into it.
This is Hot Girls Hockey. Tune in next week for more sugar.
Spice.
And everything ice.
If If you like our show, please leave us a rating. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Tweet at us at hotgirlshockey_. You can also follow us on YouTube and, while it still exists, TikTok.
Yeah.